In this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, we're going to be talking drones, we're going to be talking playoff hockey, we're going to be talking about what I'm painting. That's right, I'm going to be painting again on the show because, hey, I maybe just got my first commission work ever. It's kind of cool. So we're going to be talking about all those things, and we got a great group here. Local Geek is here, Rude Boy Kyle is here, and somebody's going to knock down the door midway through the show. So you're in for a great time. And, you know, you always are when you're here, because when you're here, you're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, pussies, enjoy time with friends.
TripleB! Well, the TripleB sucks. Okay? Oh, come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that says, if April showers bring May flowers, what the hell does 8 inches of snow bring? I don't know. I think somebody on this show knows. I am your host, the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
I'm sorry, I almost couldn't hear you under all this snow. It was coming through faint.
You sure that's just not your old age and hearing? You know, do you?
Oh yes, my hearing has come back clearly now that I am no longer on the radio. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
That's right. We're going.
Yeah. And it sounds like we have guests who are, you know, anxious for this all to kick off. And so let's just hop into everybody's favorite segment, What's on Tap, and do some guest introductions at the same time. And, you know, I always go in the order that people showed up to this meeting. You know, it's like a reward. You get here first, you get to drink first. And so we'll go across the river to Mandan. And in that case, it's the TripleB Brewmaster, the Local Geek. Local Geek, how you doing this evening? What you drinking?
Hey, I'm not doing too bad. Pretty good week this week, so can't complain about that. Which way am I going with my drink, Howie?
You know, I realized that you and I had the same thing, and I told you we would do that first, and then I forgot about it. I as we were talking about in the pre-show, mental fog. I can forget things that were agreed upon less than 10 minutes ago. I mean, that's what I was going to go with. So if you want to, you know, it'll be a rare time where I'm not the last one to drink.
Sounds good. All right, I'll break it out here then. So I picked up a little while back and gave Howard one of these as well from our local Asian market, a kiwi watermelon flavored sparkling drink. Mm-hmm. It is, of course, non-alcoholic. I can't read the can in my dark room very well, so I don't know if you've got better lighting to read it or not, Howard. But
I mean, there's not much to really say on here. It's all of like 52 calories. You know, what do we got here? Ingredients is water, fructose, carbonated dioxide, malic acid, citric acid, kiwi, watermelon flavor, sodium citrate, potassium sorbate to preserve the freshness, and sucralose. Keep in cool and shade. See bottom of label for production date and expiry date. No artificial coloring because it's clear water. This is a product of China, as we've now, you know, we've almost knocked off the United States. We're now drinking around the world at this point. Goes into a bunch
by Xiamen Elisha Mineral Water Company Limited.
Yeah, along with a lot of words that Howard's not going to try and say because it's going to kick us off there. I'm a little worried about this, Local Geek, just because I'm not usually a fan of the sparkling waters. So
I'm kind of intrigued by it because this can is plastic feeling, and it's definitely got some squish to it. So it's not very carbonated.
Yeah, well, and it's got the metal top. So we'll see here. We got the action can for the opening.
Oh, it does smell very good.
Yes, it does.
It's interesting.
That is a very interesting. I will give it this. Unlike most of like your sparkling flavored waters, like to me, those usually just taste like water with like the smallest amount of flavoring, which is part of why I don't like them. This is very flavorful, although it's got a very artificial sugar aftertaste to it.
I was going to say it leaves behind that aftertaste of artificial watermelon, like a very similar aftertaste to that.
Yeah, or your artificial sugar, you know, like you find in your like diet sodas and such.
It's not terrible. I'll give it a probably 2.3.
You're more generous than I am. I'd probably give this a 1.8. So, and hey, with that very boring non-alcoholic drink out of the way, let's kick it over to maybe somebody who's got something that, you know, actually fits the title of the show, and that's heading out to Iowa for one Rude Boy Kyle, who, if you caught when he kicked down the door, he's ready to go.
Yeah, I didn't mean to kick down the door saying ready to go, but here I am. Yeah, I've got something from Belgium on tap. I have the Belgian Strong Blonde Duvel.
Mm.
It is a, well, let's see. Duvel is a Belgian beer with a twist. Once poured, the finely crafted D at the bottom of each glass unleashes its own twister. Bubbly tornado caused by weeks of fermentation in this bottle. You've been warned. So apparently it needs a glass. One more. Of course, I can't go without pouring it into the classic Sakari heavyweight pint glass. Sakari Sushi, Ingersoll Avenue, Des Moines, Iowa. But
home of the sake shots.
Yeah. But the specialty beer, the original, is 11.2 fluid ounces, 8.5% alcohol by volume. Fourth generation from the Mortegat family. Slow brewed to perfection. So there's the Duvel labeling on the front and some little bit of artwork with seems like a Doom-esque goblin on the back. If this wants to focus. But we'll pour it into the glass and get this thing plenty ahead. Plenty ahead, as you can see. About a third of the bottle, half the bottle left, and that thing is wanting to that does not want to rest. That is delicious. Could have been more steady with the pour, but
Blame it on the ride over from Belgium.
it could have been that, but it's something that man, those lingering bubbles at the top only enhance the flavor, I think. So they definitely adhere to the stash, and man, yeah, I would definitely call that a strong blonde. So, not speaking from experience in dealing with strong blondes, I will deal that a 4.7, because that is mighty delicious. It's got a very light initial taste, but the combination of of the bubbles at the top, which are those are going to continue to linger forever, I think, until they drink the rest of the glass. So they're not going away. So if you're a fan of having a little bit of liquid and effervescence at the top, this is your beer. I'd say definitely best enjoyed out of the glass because you're not going to get those bubbles out of the beer bottle right there. But man, I mean, I just poured the rest of it in, and there's some bit of bubbly coming out the last bit, but that I could shake it around and those bubbles are going nowhere. So it's not a thick top, but it's definitely there, and it has all the flavor of the beer itself in the top. So yeah, 4.7.
Nice.
Were you
Kidder.
saying something about 4 non-blondes there? Because I'm wondering what's going on.
Who knows? I mean, that is the question of the show. I think sometimes what's going on. What's going on?
Sorry, Howard. I had to do that because
No,
it had to happen.
I totally approve. I've been introducing my kids to some classic tunes. Every now and then, I like to troll them with lyrics to songs they don't know, and I have used that one.
I mean, I'd throw out some other references to other 4 non-blonde songs, but nobody would get them. So that's the fun. Yeah, I'm gonna do the one I gave you, and then I got back. Since it's time for some Fighting Sioux hockey, the Half Brothers Brewing Company classic golden ale. Got some white and green right on the cover there. And as we've talked about this before, just to rehash, 16 ounces, 1 pint, because it comes in pints. Drink local. This is in Grand Forks, North Dakota, halfbrothersbrewing.com. Under special agreement from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It is a classic golden ale, 4.5% alcohol by volume. And the barcode on there is even made to be like a state of North Dakota. So there it is.
3 crispy edges and a little jagged one.
Mm-hmm. Crispy boy right here, gents. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
So, what's going on? What's happening? What have you guys been doing? Watching a little hockey? Not watching hockey? Howard?
I have not been watching any hockey actually, except for the clips I see on like Facebook and such. So I'm a little out of the loop on a lot of stuff. Although I did see that we beat the Flames into ashes. So
Hey, guess who got eliminated from the NHL playoffs recently?
I mean, we weren't going to bring up about the Hawks, but the Leafs did too.
I mean, they were technically eliminated before the Hawks, so it's small miracles, I guess. So,
right?
I mean, you kind of deserve to be eliminated.
Who else clinched a playoff berth recently, though, Mark?
The Minnesota Mild.
I wasn't going to go to them first, but
I think they were
who was the first to clinch a playoff berth?
Oh, the first this year? Well, of course, as the Colorado Avalanche. Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
Floating up there, 106 points on the season or something. Nathan McKinnon with over 50 goals on the season already.
It's like a bubble bath up there. My goodness.
Extra creamy in that low altitude.
Well, we're only at 1,000 feet, so
Yeah, I was actually looking at that when we were talking about the pressure in the beer, or the carbonation, and I thought, well, maybe there's a big altitude difference between Belgium.
No,
You guys,
I mean
they're
it's
actually pretty close to sea level, but I mean, you guys aren't very high.
But I was doing some looking at it online, and that's one of the trademarks of hauling it out of the bottle into a glass is that the bubbles just remain. Like it's been a few minutes now, and you've got something to. It's like a dessert course with every sip. So. Yeah, that is just right.
You know what else is just right? Hockey playoffs. Here we go.
Here we go.
Up in the postseason. Making it happen.
That's the time of the year.
Frozen Four, the Stanley Cup final. It is on.
Mm-hmm.
When is the Frozen Four? As I said, I've been out of the loop. So
Next weekend.
okay,
Next Thursday and Saturday. I thought it was this past week, and I was all gung ho for it. And then I realized Thursday, after I woke up from my nap, that they are not playing tonight, and so gives me just another week to build up the anticipation.
hey, you know what is going on though, right? Kidder's gonna love that I'm going to transition to this, but it's we're nearing the end of March Madness, huh? I bring it up only so I can say, the last time I talked about this, I was like at the bottom at like 24 in my works bracket. Currently, I'm 5th. So
Nice.
Fifth out of how many people?
there's like 28.
Okay.
So I'll take it. Yeah, for a guy who doesn't watch any basketball and always comes up with a random generator to develop his bracket. Yeah. So the kids are doing pretty well for me this year. So I let the kids decide.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So I can't win according to ESPN. There's no possible way for me to win. But 5th is probably the best I've ever done on this. So there you go.
I thought it was pretty cool because there's usually some stat out there after each round is complete saying how many perfect brackets are left off of ESPN or whatever bracket website you fill out. But ESPN said after round 1 that there were 2 completely imperfect brackets. There were 2 people that selected every game absolutely incorrectly. So that was kind of cool. So
that is really the only reason to care about college basketball.
Yeah,
it's it is just as I said, the kind of the fun of filling out a bracket. In my case, I do it with a random generator each year.
Mm-hmm.
And
who did you have going to the final 4, Howie? If you haven't,
it was Michigan is who I have to win it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's Illinois. I could look, except it's on my phone, and I can give me a little bit.
Don't stress too much about it. I'm
I'm
sure we could always circle back and annoy Mark that even a little bit more.
I know he loves when I bring this topic up every year.
Little squeaky shoes.
Oh, he lives for the squeaky shoes, So, I love when things don't come up. There we go.
What did you get for talking about basketball?
Hey,
Retribution.
hey, Some people like, that I torture you with this. Just go my Come on, ESPN, load faster. So in my final four,
There's some round ball rock playing in the background right now.
I had Ohio State going on. I don't like how they do this. Okay, there it is. I had Yukon, Illinois, Arizona, and Michigan were my final four.
Oh, you got a decent pick with Arizona right there. So
yeah. I think that's the only reason I think Illinois and Arizona are the only reason I'm as in it as I am.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. My daughter was the one who had like Ohio State going all the way to the finals.
And it's
so
worth a try.
Hey, it's fun. They don't know what they're doing. They just make predictions, and it's
in Ohio State. They're just big fans of indefinite articles because they can't refer to themselves without putting the in front of it.
Yeah. So it's funny. But my daughter predicted some upsets, which was like, okay, that's good. And my son was like, no, he wanted each one. He's like, who's the higher ranked team? Okay, I choose them.
Yeah.
So
here we go.
Now the man who aced the NCAA college hoops bracket before it was even over with a full high score and a PhD to boot. It's Doc. Welcome to the show.
I don't do March Madness. What's this?
Did you see the look on his face? His eyeballs are the same size as mine when you started talking about it. So it's not only me.
Doc probably just wanted to sign out of this call and go.
Yeah, where's the exit button?
Suddenly the internet stopped working out west.
Am I on the right podcast?
All right, that's really all I had. I just wanted to share that I went from like the bottom of the list to fifth. So kudos to my kids.
Well done.
Yeah. So
Curtis, how you doing?
Doing well. Good to be here. I am less than fashionably late because one of my housemates decided to make a chicken pot pie from scratch for dinner, and I was not going to miss that. So
It sounds delicious.
and it is delicious. It was great.
Out of 5 stars, how many stars would you give the?
I would give it maybe like a 4.8.
Ooh,
Nice.
Only because I would have liked a little more time to enjoy it. I didn't want to completely miss this.
so time was a factor in your.
Yeah.
well, we're not too far out from what's on tap. So do you want to share what you're drinking this fine evening?
Yeah, I am starting with a MXD Drinks Company Long Island iced tea.
Boy,
12% alcohol by volume. Premium malt beverage with natural flavors and certified colors as opposed to non-certified colors. Yeah. I think I had one of their other ones once before, like their strawberry margarita or daiquiri or something. It wasn't bad.
I don't recognize the MXD name, but I could just not be remembering it.
That's why I said I think it may be that I had it some other time. I thought I had it on the show, but I could be wrong.
Long Island iced tea. That's one of my favorites, but I also like to call it the bad decision in a glass. So.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not the best Long Island iced tea I've had, but it's decent. I would give it maybe a 3.
Maybe it needs an orange slice in the.
What's it missing that would elevate it to maybe a 4?
I mean, it's just
the pre-mixed kind of combination.
Yeah, it's just very clear that it's like, it's certainly not a made in the moment, like, made to order. And it's also certainly not the double at the ground round. So, which we learned after several months of going there for tea night that you could actually order a double as if they weren't strong enough to begin with. And that was definitely a bad decision in a glass. It was like you can get a double shot for $1 more. It's like, oh, don't say that to a college student.
And now they're out of business.
That will be special.
But yes, now unfortunately they are closed.
I told Mike over at T&M's for April Fool's Day he should do a Chicago iced tea, which is Long Island iced tea with all of the alcohol substituted from Malort.
Oh man! Oh,
I'm pretty sure he didn't want to because of all of the vomit that would be all over the place.
Probably. Anyway, I'm gonna join you here, Doc.
He wants return customers.
I'm gonna have the New Glarus Brewing Company Pilsner.
That NA was so bad you had to switch over to hard stuff.
Oh, I chugged it already.
Okay.
I figured since Doc was having a drink, I'd just round 2.
Well, it's like round 1.5 because it's an NA. So
fair.
I think
we were better than I was expecting out of a Pilsner, but it's not a bad Pilsner. It's definitely got that Pilsner profile to it, but it's a little more bitter than, like I said, one would expect. Give that one maybe a 2.8.
Oh, not so good.
Yeah, it could definitely be better. But it's not terrible either. I'd drink another one if somebody got it for me. Probably wouldn't buy it for myself.
One of those qualities.
Yeah. Let's see. What else is going on? What's happening? What have we been up to?
I bought myself a new toy. I've been wanting one for quite a while, and last week Amazon had them on sale, so I picked up a drone for myself and been playing around with it a little bit. Did my trust certificate for it, so I'm legal to fly it recreationally, and I think I'm going to work on my Part 107 pilot license to be able to do commercial stuff if I choose to. So
there you go.
The link I just put in the chat, there's a short little video I shot up by Old Red Trail Elementary School because there's no power lines up there, so lots of free open space.
I thought about getting a drone for a while just because I think it would be fun, but I've had enough of those like little quadcopter helicopter things for kids and such. Yep. I crash those things so much. I'm just like, nope. I was clearly not meant to fly things.
That was one of my concerns because Colt's got one of those little cheapy ones. And one of my coworkers does like a total side business doing drone stuff. And he's like, yeah, the more expensive ones are so much more stable and a lot easier to fly. And I can attest to that. This one I bought was fairly spendy. It wasn't, $1,000 like my coworkers or anything, but it'll stay in one place if you let go of the controls and tolerates the wind really well. So
yeah, it's amazing the technology that's come even within the past 4 or 5 years, because I've got a DJI drone myself and have the first person goggles set up, and
nice.
It's something that it's the technology for obstacle avoidance and making sure you're flying within regulations has come a long ways, but it's I'd say it's an emerging market that being able to at least fly where and when you want to, having your knowing the regulations is a big aspect of it.
Yep.
But having your Part 107 license and being able to use that, whether it's for your own use or if you're doing an actual job you're being paid for, is a big benefit. So it's
even like
it's
if your channel gets monetized, you need to be Part 107.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah.
So, I figured I'd get it just to kind of have that CYA for future regulations that may come. Just easier.
Yeah,
although I did find out the drone I bought has a flaw with that. It's below the 250 gram limit, so it's not required to be registered unless you're using it for Part 107.
Yep.
And it disables the radio transmitter on it if you're not using the bigger batteries that push it over that weight limit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to turn it on.
Yeah, it's definitely a sticking point that I've seen, just being able to fly myself, because it used to be something where I could go down to the park a couple miles away and just make a phone call saying, hey, I'm going to fly. I'm going to stay at or below 400 feet. And they'll be like, okay, thanks for the call. And now it's all done online where you say, hey, I'm going to fly this point, and I'm going to be at this altitude. It's gotten a lot more streamlined, but the government regulations and the intent between what people want and regulations intend for, and people's execution of those, is there's some lag time. So it's something that a lot of states and communities like to think that they can enforce their own regulations, whereas the flying a unmanned aerial system, a lot of people call them drones or UASs. It's all federally regulated, so it's something that knowing the rules, knowing your rights, and knowing how to assert yourself in a situation where if you're questioned or if the authorities come rolling up on you and start giving you a hard time, then knowing that you're doing things by the letter of the law is definitely a big advantage, because sometimes it's you're operating in federally mandated airspace, so it's something that as long as you're cognizant of what you're doing and being safe and not operating over people without the correct permissions and certificates, then you're usually okay. So
I know our agency has several drones, and we've had several people get their pilot's license, just so we're on the up and up with all of that. So it's been fun in that regard. So
nice. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys had them. I know I texted you letting you know my coworker did that kind of stuff if you wanted your sites flown over or anything, but if you have your own people, they probably do that for you, huh?
Well, yes and no. It's kind of one of like, we have people and they're supposed to go out and fly sites, but not everybody in our agency likes to travel as much as I do. So it's getting them to actually go out and do flights at sites. It's kind of hit or miss. So, but yeah, we're getting a big, we have a big expansion happening to the Heritage Center. It's a military gallery, and we're getting one of the really big, like, UAV drones for that.
Sweet.
That's one of the really big kind of what we call macro items that we're getting. And the biggest one, which we just got, which my director is very relieved to get because he didn't think we would, but we're getting a Minuteman III nuclear missile.
I saw that. I'm excited to check that out once it's open.
Yeah. Fun fact, and I'm not gonna. It's been a bit of a quandary on our side because we're working with architects and an exhibit design team to help us put this together, and they have a really great plan to kind of stand this missile up in the middle of the gallery so you can see the full height, and there's going to be a catwalk you can walk around it at kind of different levels. It's really cool.
Nice.
What I don't know, and I don't get, and I'm not involved in those meetings, but I shake my head at, if you happen to know the height of a Minuteman III nuclear missile, it's 60 feet.
It's big.
Our gallery space is 57.
Oh, no.
So,
They're gonna make a couple of slices.
yeah, I think we are.
I assume there's like open ceiling space above the gallery that they could tap into without having to open the roof.
No, that's accounting for that. Like they were even kind of accounting of kind of going down a little bit, so like the boosters and such would actually sit kind of like under the floor a little bit, and it's still it's like 3 feet too big.
Oh, come on, just be honest. You're going to use both of those pieces of technology to take out all the sites in South Dakota.
Yeah. We're also getting another Huey helicopter for in that gallery, and like my site supervisor at Oscar, who like after like 4 years of trying to get one, finally got theirs, and now they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll get it for you. You just got to do the paperwork." He's like, I struggled so hard to get this done, and it's just happening for this new military gallery. Just piece of cake, but he's excited. So
my brother works for the Northern Plains UAS test site.
Okay.
Which is hosted. It's at UND, but it's actually technically part of the Department of Commerce. And apparently, they actually have a program where they work with other state agencies to like replace their drones when they're out of when they're old or need to be replaced. They have like a program. So, and he manages that, which is interesting because that is nothing related to his background and training, but that's what he does.
You can end up in places that you never know.
I mean, his job is also to go around the state and convince agencies to use drones for various things and to use their site and to convince legislators to give them more money, which that part I can see because he's a schmoozer. And the whole the technical management of we assess drones to see if they need replacement. I'm like, but why do you do that? Like, how do you? He's like, I don't know. So
there's a back end and there's a front end.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, if you go to their site and look up the drone replacement program, and it's like, who do you contact? And it's his name, and I'm like, what? Okay, all right.
Yeah, we're working right now because of fun mandates. We're having to trade in all of our drones, so fun government rules. And that's all I'll say because it gets into politics and all that. And we try to avoid that, but I bring it up only to say we're getting new drones, so that'll be cool.
Tax dollars hard at work.
Yeah. We for our agency we do a fairly good job of making sure that we spend taxpayer money, appropriately. So it's one of those where we don't get a lot of it, so we use it responsibly so that they don't take it away from us.
There you go.
And stuff like this is out of your control because it's federal mandates.
Yep. Exactly.
Howard, what's the? Give me the details on the figure. You're putting some touches on there.
Oh, yeah. This is just a little. They call it an ogre magi, but I mean he looks more like a Japanese oni to me. So it's kind of the paint scheme I'm going with. But I'm trying to go from with the skin from a purple up to a red. Okay. So trying to shade it up. So we're kind of in the magenta range right now. But
obviously a student of the blade.
Yeah. It's been a fun model to paint so far, and I'm having fun with it mainly because it gives me a reason to use this. Reaper Miniatures is redoing their entire paint line, and I got a couple of samples of the new paint. So I got blood red, and I got brilliant green, and it's really good. Nice. It's some amazingly good paint. So I would very much like to get a bunch of it and replace my old paint, but I don't like just throwing away paint. So they're doing a Kickstarter for it right now where you can buy in, and to get the complete new line, it's $400 for 200 bottles of paint. The look on Kidder's face is pretty close to the look on my wife's face when I told her that.
I mean, $2 a bottle is not a terrible price on it.
It's a big figure. but it's like,
I got a good deal on it. It's only $32,000. It's a good deal. Like 40% off.
So I might go in for their they do have a starter level where you get it's only 36 paints, and I might do that just to start getting some of the new line in. Nice. But we'll see. I haven't committed to that yet, but it's been fun. I've been playing around with it. I got here's to go off on hobby stuff. I got my first commission ever for somebody who wanted to pay me to paint a miniature.
Nice.
One of the custodians at the office, he's seen me paint. He does a lot of 2D art, so he wanted a mushroom fairy sort of thing for his wife. So
cool.
I'm working on that. So not too far. Got a little mushroom shroomy guy on the front there, and her, and I plan to do a whole the reason my base has a lip, I'm planning to actually paint some koi fish in here, but make them bioluminescent koi fish.
Nice.
And then I'm going to I have some resin that'll make it look like actual water in there, so I wanted the lip to kind of hold it all in, but I'm not very far into this, so there's still a lot of work to do, but it's been a fun little project, and first time that I've ever accepted a commission. So
progress on it.
What was that?
I'd like to follow the progress on that if you're going to record the work in action, if you plan to or not.
We'll see. I debated doing that. My problem is whenever I kind of set up to paint, it slows me down. Yeah. So even painting this Oni on camera, I mean, I literally have my phone sitting between my lap. So if I go like this, you can see that, which means that I have to paint like this
behind the scenes.
Yeah. So when I'm painting, I am literally kind of hugging my own camera to try and put it on cam.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a little cumbersome.
Yeah. So it makes it just tricky enough where sometimes when I just want to get something done, I kind of like just having the complete total freedom of movement if I am not recording. But I'll maybe take some progress photos and such and keep it updated. So I only started painting it last night. So It's been fun. Been fun. I should finish this water.
Chug the bug.
Yeah, well,
have become
I was waiting for it, Mark.
Well, it was there, calling out 7 Mary 3 and 7 Mary 4. John and Punch riding in.
Kidder, I know you alluded to it at the beginning. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but we had the last ride home with Kidder recently.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? That was a sad day.
I mean, maybe. Some people were sad. I'm sure some other people were very happy because they weren't hearing Metallica time and other things because, statistically, 60% of people enjoy screaming on the radio. So, 70% of the time it works every time.
He's done the math.
It is one of those sorts of things. Plus, I did a 3 at 3 special. And on 2 for Tuesday, I do 4 in a row at the 3 and 3. And so it's some Scott Steiner math, just making everything make sense. So it just was one of those deals. But yes, hey, gone. Corporate radio, everybody. One day you're the windshield, and the other day you're the bug.
Yeah. I will say I listened to about as much of the show as I could. I had a few things that I had to do where I had to step away from it, but otherwise, I listened to pretty much the whole show, start to finish.
And on a 0 to 5, how would you, aside from it being like the last probably ever show that could be out there, what do you think?
I mean, I enjoyed it,
Oh, he's skirting around the scoring. He doesn't want to lowball me for the last one.
Well, I don't feel like it'd be fair of me to score it since I didn't listen to it on a regular basis.
So he can buy some paint. That's what he's asking for. Yeah, you get it $400, and then conveniently, 5 out of 5. It was the greatest show ever.
I mean,
go ahead, Howard.
I was just gonna say, I mean, that I enjoyed it and I would rate it highly.
One thing I've always wondered, Kidder, that maybe you'll have the answer to is how do radio stations determine like popularity of various time frames and things like that? Because their signals are one-way transmissions, so they're not getting feedback from how many people are physically out there.
Yeah. Well, that is a great question, Local Geek. And in some larger markets, it is a two-way transmission of sorts because the HD radio signal is able to be scored and tracked in a similar method as to television metrics because of the digital age that it's in. In markets like ours, it is still an old school method where handful, and it's more than a handful, it's a percentage of the population, is sent a radio diary, is what it's called. You get a letter with like $5 in it saying, here, fill out this general demographics. You don't put your name on it. You don't put anything else because they will send you another letter with your journal in it in a month after that. But you get like $5 to fill out the statistics of where you fit in the age groups, because of course there's 0 to 16, 16 to 21, 21 to 35, 35 to 50, 50 to 7, whatever, the different age groups.
The Nielsen ratings of radio.
Yeah, and then basically you have different age groups, and then those are broken down into male and female, and so then you get your demographics. But basically, when you get the diary, you have it for 2 weeks, and then you fill out of, did you listen to the radio today? Do you remember what station you listened to? From what time to what time did you listen? Do you remember anything about the station? Like, was it 96.5 FM? Is the call letters KBYZ? Is it 96.5 The Walleye. Do you remember any personalities during that time, like the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Kidder? Specific pieces like that. Then you send them in. You also get like $50 for doing a diary, something like that. I mean, they send you cash through the mail, so super secure and highly scientific.
It sounds like a deal that they'd offer somebody back in the early radio days. But hey,
yeah. So I mean, they've been doing this for decades, and it's just a random address. They mail them out, and it's different rating periods throughout the year, and they're the book periods because the journal is like a book. And then, of course, the results are tabulated, and then the official ratings book comes out, and radio stations are granted a share of that percentage, basically the active listening population, because we know that, let's just say 80,000 people in Bismarck, all 80,000 people would not be listening to the radio at the exact same moment. And so, judging by the journals that are sent in, additionally with some scientific metrics of research over the decades that's constantly done and evolved, you get a percentage of the population that would be listening, estimated to that time.
Okay.
So, to give you an even extra point, generally shows around our time radio stations overall, when you're looking at the performers, my show and my stations have historically been in the top back in the glory days of 2012 to 2014. When I was on Rock 101, I was number one per capita in the country, so my ratings were a higher percentile than anywhere else in the country. I had higher ratings than everybody else anywhere. And
Nice.
So, like, the ratings in my time slot, I want to say they were like an 18 share, which is very, very high. Even on the Edge and XL93 back in the day, I had a 52 share. So you can't tell me that I'm not doing something right.
That's why you're paid the big bucks, right?
I'm wondering where they are.
where them bucks at?
Sorry, I'm waiting for the wheelbarrow to show up over here at the cage. While I was at about a 5.1 when I started, and I haven't seen the latest rating booklet, and I don't know if I'll hear from it, but I know the last ratings period, it was above an 8. So
Nice.
that was, allegedly directly tied to me coming over and making a little creme fraiche on the radio, just a little fresh here and there. And I've had a few messages, a few comments about why I'm not there. And essentially it boils down to corporate cutbacks, and here's how it goes. You're out the door. It doesn't matter how good you are or how much your ratings are, because guess what? Somebody else is already doing the work, so we can slide that in for free. Yeah, we don't have to pay you $148 every 2 weeks. Wow. So I know that there's a lot there to unpack, and it is what it is. As I said in my closer, it's my last show on the Walleye. I don't know if it will be for a little while or forever. Don't know if I'll be back on the Walleye. Don't know if I'll be back on any terrestrial radio station. However, we'll just have to wait.
Might you be on an extraterrestrial radio station?
I wouldn't mind being on Sirius XM. That's satellite
No,
radio.
that's not what I meant.
That's satellite radio.
Extraterrestrial.
DJ Mark Kidder on BPM.
BPM. I mean, technically, since the satellites are in space, it doesn't make it adhere to the terrestrial guidelines, because it's very bizarre, and it's hilarious that you bring that up, because years ago we had this discussion internally. So insider baseball for radio, because terrestrial radio, you have antennas, transmitters. Of course, they broadcast FM signals, approximately 75-mile radius, depending on the terrain and the time, as long as they're 100,000 watts of rock. KJ 108.
Wow, I love that intro.
or other stations. FM stations are typically 100,000 watts. The AM stations operate differently due to different wavelength and still on the tower from a transmitter, but their wavelength is different, which is why in some circumstances, when the atmosphere is just right, it can bounce the signal around the globe, which is a cool phenomenon, and people from everywhere in the planet have sent in comments like, "Oh, I picked up your station over here in Helsinki, picked up your station in Indonesia." Random countries are able to pick up the signals from here in Bismarck or Grand Forks, and then they send them in. That's been done away with a little bit due to FCC regulations and having to lower the power of the AM stations. But again, insider baseball. Anyway,
I've heard of Ham's doing that too.
Yep. Similar concept due to the wavelength, but you can ricochet the signal off of the ionosphere and just bounces around the planet and see who's listening. But since the satellites are technically the transmitter, because the studios record it, send it to the satellite, and then the satellite's the actual transmission device, it originates in space. So due to FCC regulations, they don't apply in the same method as they do to terrestrial radio stations, and it's a paid service. So that's why the unedited content is able to be aired versus FCC guidelines strictly prohibiting a lot of profanity and other, content that is not appropriate because it's also free. And that's why you get commercials versus paying for satellite radio. So I will continue listening to Sirius XM, Octane, and Turbo, and BPM. And if they're hiring a voice guy, just let me know. Give me a holler. Kidder at beerbluesbs.com.
I will say, Kidder, because I listened to the show while we were eating dinner, and so me and, of course, the kids were talking about how it was your last show. That's why I was listening to it at the dinner table. And it brought up a thing, because one of their favorite things from this last year was when we went to band night parade, and they got to see, Uncle Mark in a truck in the parade. And, so I was thinking about that, and like, oh, they're going to miss, getting to see you in the parade. But it brought up an interesting idea. I think we
don't have money for it, okay? I don't know what you're going to say, but we don't have money for it.
I think we could pull this off. Between JS, the local geek, you, me, I think we could figure this out. Kidder, as far as I'm aware, I have never heard of a podcast going live from the middle of a parade.
Oh, God.
I think we should figure this out, and do an episode of the TripleB live from a parade.
We've discussed doing the TripleB on a parade before with the kegs and.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'd violate a handful of laws doing so.
Well, I mean, it might have to be an NA night, but I got kids, the local geeks got kids, JS got kids, so they could be throwing out candy and things like that while we record the show.
Pampers.
Yeah.
Please buy our.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to probably figure out how to pull it all off, But
looks like spam.
I think we could do it.
Pyramid schemes.
Put up a big sign on. JS has probably got the trailer, so
just do the trailer with a small mock-up of his garage, and just have him just custom everything out left and right.
Yeah,
We get banned from the parade before we even left the Capitol grounds.
yeah.
For those of you from not outside the area, that's where the parade starts and ends. The Capitol grounds. They just open up the lane and go that way. Just drive out of here.
I think it'd be. I think we could have a lot of fun with it. Something to think about.
Fun is also like a synonym of expensive.
Yeah, I think we got the stuff to do this. It's just the time and the know-how.
Homebrew from local geek and put in some plastic bottles that you can slowly roll over to the curb and.
So I just pulled up the website because I was curious when the parade is, because I forget. It's been a long time since I was in it. Did they change the route?
Yeah.
I was gonna say this looks much shorter, and it doesn't look like it goes down that awful hill anymore.
Yeah, it goes down to from the Capitol down
it goes around and it actually
Fifth
ends
Street.
up, yeah.
And then to Avenue C, up 4th Street, and then back into the Capitol. But I'm laughing because I checked in the Bismarck Mandan Chamber. EDC has the info for the 2026 Band Night Parade registration starting at the Capitol. And the registration link is there, and there is no entry cost.
Oh, yeah.
There's no
There you
entry cost.
JS has the trailer. He's got the vehicle presumably to pull the trailer. Howard's got the painting skills to make some signs.
I don't do well with 2D, but
I don't normally like to be the in my day guy. But you're telling me that the high school students of today do not have to march down that hill?
Nope. They don't have to go all the way downtown and down to the mall.
So I remember having to spend multiple evenings and even some early mornings going to the school so that we could march up and down that massive hill by Mandan High School as our practice. Because our band director was like, we are not going to look like fools going down the hill on band day. And that is just, oh my gosh. Going up, like we literally 6 a.m, we're going up to the top of the hill so we can practice marching down.
Yeah, high school is also no more if you weren't aware.
Well, that's just, I know. Like the old by the big hill by the old Mandan.
Yeah. It was torn down a couple months ago, so.
I think part of why they changed the route, and this is just pure speculation, is it allowed for them to it ends back at the Capitol, so you're not having to park cars down at the other end or walk all the way back. So
yeah. I mean, I just had my parents drop me off at the start and pick me up at the end, but
Yeah, we had somebody park a vehicle down there, and then we'd load up probably more people than we officially had seatbelts for. But
the laws were different then. It was a different time.
I don't know that they actually were, but okay.
They were different.
Well, were those laws different though? I mean, there were different laws, but were those laws different?
They definitely were, because just hang out the window with a beer and smoking a cigarette. How old are you, kid? I'm 14. Oh, no, just don't do it again.
I mean, I don't think it was too many years ago that they changed seatbelt from a secondary enforcement to a primary enforcement. So,
yeah. So, I think we should look into it. We just have to figure out how to, maybe the tech side of things to pull it off. But if we got a trailer, decorate it. It cost us some candy, to throw out. My kids would love riding on a float, throwing out candy. I'm sure local geeks would, and JS's would.
I don't know.
He's gotten to throw candy out of a fire truck before.
What was that?
I don't know if you can throw out candy anymore.
You
He's
can.
gotten to throw candy out of a fire truck before, so he enjoyed that.
You can, because my kids are now like every parade. It's like, where's the candy?
Well, I know you can like hand it out from the walkers, but I don't know if you can throw it from the float.
There were some people who were throwing it, and I didn't see anybody enforcing that.
Probably some heathens, and they won't be asked back.
They won't be asked back. I like that. Their time is done.
Yeah, but
their time is up. Our time is now.
I think we have a chance here to claim the first ever podcast live from a parade.
I believe I saw the date of May 18th.
It's May 8th.
May 8th?
Yep.
I've got some bad news.
Just as an FYI, they say they prioritize sound for bands. So if your vehicle includes sound, you may be asked to turn down the volume if it interferes with live performance ensembles. So keep it to a dull roar.
See, and I don't know that we need to necessarily blast out what.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
I've got a broadcast speaker. We'll say it has enough amps to make your ears hurt from a short distance. So it's I can donate the speaker and maybe a microphone or two if I were to add to it.
Are you just saying that make your ears hurt because we're going to be playing replays of this show?
Well, I mean, it might be the best cuts of the show. I mean, it could be some of JS in his garage just firing off left and right. It could be some of us maybe embracing some of the people who wish they were listening to the show to have a drink with us. But yeah.
I think if we use some of those cuts of JS cleaning his garage, we're definitely not getting asked back.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm reading their description, and they really, I think, oversell what this event is. They say this one single event drives the futures of so many and makes the Bismarck community a better place all year long.
Well, yeah, look at it. 3 of the 5 of us were in the parade, and look where we are now.
I mean, it could be something.
I don't have the best memories of it either. So
we take the best of the Killer Kidder show and the best of the K&M game time playlist and just blast some great tunes because people love great tunes. So, it's.
Well, I said, I think there's potential. And plus, there's then again just having that claim of fame of being the first ever.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just have the one song loaded up, and it's going to be 7 words by the Deftones. In case you're not familiar with that, it's.
That's all 7 words.
Yeah, seven words. It's 7 in a row. and it's more than 7 in the song. It's just
but it's groups of 7.
heavily repeated. Yeah.
I mean, since you're moving along a parade route, and the sound moves with the float. I think maybe something along the lines of just playing the intro to it's a long time to rock if you want to rock and roll. If you just continually just continually play that through and never get to the drop. Just get the bagpipes in there a little bit.
I mean, I think if we were going to play something trolly like that, there's a take of the Foo Fighters where it's The Best of You, but it gets a part where like it in the chorus and it just keeps repeating the best, the best, the best, the best, the best. I never gets
That'll be crap too.
Rude Boy, I don't know if you remember this during the women's hockey warm-up mix, and I can't remember the song off the top of my head, but they gave me the list of the songs, and then I did a custom blend so they all fit together.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what it is, but I brought it to the pause mid-song, and then I just switched the song. And the first time it played, I heard the band start saying the next part because it was a more popular song.
Yep.
And then it was different, and they all went, "Oh!" You can just hear it echo through the arena.
You got trolled by
I just started laughing because I got them all. I got them. Now I'm curious about what that is. Let me see if I can find that while we're
back to the
tooling
list.
around.
Oh, I know the Pretender was in there. There's a lot of good songs in those playlists.
So
Well,
we might not get to it this year, but something for us to think about in future years.
we have an entire year to plan out the
Yeah.
ultimate.
Plan it that far out. We might get some other members of the TripleB to join us on that. Who knows? Curtis could come down and yell at all the kids for slacking and not going down the hill.
or if the TripleB float is at the front of the show or at near the front of the parade, you can just like lead them to the hill and see if they follow.
We're going this way.
We were going rogue.
I mean, I will say, like, when you're marching along and you're playing, like, you just follow what's in front of you. You don't like pay attention. All of a sudden you're like, oh wait, oh no, like,
And off they go.
yep. And we can be like, sorry, I was in this parade in high school and I thought this was still the route.
You say, yeah, and I guarantee you, people would say they would have exactly as good of a time as they did on the non-parade route as they did if they were on the parade route.
Exactly.
Well, gents, this is a great idea. We probably need to discuss it further, but I heard the timer go off. So it's that time of the show where I get to say, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while. It's time we probably wrap this episode up. And to do that, we need some cheap plugs, some final thoughts, and, all those things. I know you're still desperately trying to figure out that song. But
Yeah, because I'm listening to the track now, and I'm like, man, I missed this warm-up time. Woo, it was good. It was so good. Rude Boy's having flashbacks, and he's not even listening to the song.
I don't even know what the song is, and gosh,
Was it
Premium.
Was it not the Cha-Cha Slide?
No, I banned that.
That was only played during men's hockey. Sorry.
Yes, I
digress.
when I wasn't working, yes, I banned that.
do not put your
Banned
hands
it.
up in the air.
It's very disappointing.
He would just play that part of it, like clap, 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 clap your hands. And I would always go with Jenny, and she would get so upset every time.
Very disappointing.
Yeah.
Anyway. It's just so good. I better pause this so we can get the hell on out of here. Everybody's like, what are you listening to? Well, if you weren't there for the warm-up, then you missed a show. Not really the hockey. Some of the games were really good, but the music was on point.
Yep.
Speaking on point, beerbluesbs.com, our website, beerbluesbs.com, and you need to help us finance our trip to the Bandhead Parade. Get us to the parade. Give us your money at streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. You can donate in the tip form or just buy some merch. Get some t-shirts, maybe get a pint glass. You could get a swimsuit or a sweatshirt, maybe even just a sticker. streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. And now we've confirmed that the money does go straight to us again. It did before, but now it does again. It's a whole other issue that we don't have time for. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Please like us, share us, join us for all the stuff, and make a comment or three. We'd love to hear from you. Local Geek's taking up the comment section, so we need some other people to help him out. He's getting lonely. So we need some help. Also, help us with all of the places: Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, IMDb, Player FM, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, and the video version on YouTube. So if you're watching us, thank you for that. If you're listening to us, thank you for that. Please make sure you cross-subscribe. That way you get the TripleB anywhere and anytime that you have time to enjoy the show. That'd be fantastic. So now that we have shared the TripleB cheap plugs, got to throw out a cheap plug for the Killer Kidder Show on Spotify. You want a personally curated list of rock that can be handled by no radio station, whether it's terrestrial or extraterrestrial. It's on Spotify. The Killer Kidder Show. All you got to do is just click the follow, and then you can listen to it anytime. I update it all the time to the new tunes that are rocking the world. So it's always updated, and just a little blasphemy, a little cumbersome, just to name a couple. There's lots of other songs and references that we could make, but we're out of time. We need final thoughts right now. So let's go over across to the west side of the Missouri River with one local geek.
Are you ready for this? Here's the game plan. For this week, we're going to find a parade. We're going to watch the Final Four and try not to get buzzed by a drone while doing it. It's a busy April, and whether your bracket's busted or your battery's low, just keep moving forward. See you next time.
Poetic.
Rude Boy, you want to fill us in about the see you next time with the the radio?
Well, yeah, there's a thing in our line of business that it's not a good connotation. So I will abbreviate it to the point that since we're talking with other faces made for radio on our frequencies, when they tell us "see you next time" as a send-off message, it's not taken positively. So if you take the we'll say phonetic soundings of "see you next time," and we spell that out, that's how we're taking it when we're given that message. So it's something that it's good to be polite, and a lot of times I'm usually too busy to take it personally because it's something that I'm 99.999% not going to see that person again in person for the rest of my lifetime. But there's the small chance, and there's sometimes that if it's a local pilot, I mean, I don't say it personally to anybody, but it's something that there's some people that do take it personally if you're told "see you next time." So keep that in mind if you're speaking with someone that works the radio waves. It's sometimes taken as an insult.
Words to live by. Speaking of words and wisdom, way out west, Doc, bring us some knowledge.
No matter how hard you try, there will come a point in your life where you utter the phrase, back in my day. And for me, that was tonight.
Mm.
Okay, it's heavy stuff. I don't know. Let's go over to Heavy Howard Blues to pull us out of this tight situation.
Wow, that's a heavy lift. So hey, fun thing. If you didn't catch last week's episode, go check last week's episode out. It was the 5-year anniversary show, and it was also the longest official episode of the TripleB, coming in at 2 hours 58 minutes. You might be going, what on earth did you guys talk about for all that time? Truthfully, the true sense of the episode ended at somewhere around the 2 hour 15 to 25 minute mark. The rest, the behind the curtain is a great smorgasbord of moments from the show, and it was tough to just keep it that short. So I'm thinking, Kidder, at some point in the future here, I'm going to make like a much longer, like the best of TripleB episode. Something like, hey, if you've missed the last 5 years, here's your like quick catch up to the show. So if anybody's got a favorite moment, send it my way, and I'll maybe try and add it into that as we get people caught up. There's been some good ones. There's been a lot of good ones.
Beer shower.
I mean, that was going to be in it regardless. Yeah. So if you had a favorite moment, whether it's hey, my co-hosts and guests here, or hey, if you're just listening and you've been a long time listener, feel free, share what were some of your favorite moments of the TripleB, so I can make as I said, a catch-up episode of some of these finer moments. And if you can give me time codes, that helps. Otherwise, at least an episode number, because it can be a bit to track some of this stuff down. But that's really the big thing I have.
Howard giving homework.
Well, hey, it was fun. It was hard to not, like, we almost hit the 3 hour mark. I'm like, no one's going to listen to this if I push it that far, because there was just too many like stuff that I had that I'm like, oh, we should include this, and oh, that was a great thing, we should have done that. Oh, I need to put this in there. So yeah, there's some great moments.
Dude gets an education degree, and there he goes giving homework.
Sticking with what I'm good at.
20 years later. God. In case you were curious, the song happened to be Party Rock by LMFAO. Because I cut it at one of the cuts and then went right into the next song. And yes, I trolled the band every time. All right. Well, now that you know, more you know, and reminiscing about some Fighting Sioux women's hockey, which may it rest in peace, for the Doc, for Rude Boy, for the Local Geek, and for Howie Blues. I'm still Mark Kidder, whether I'm on the terrestrial radio or not. Have a great one. Thanks for being here for this and every episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. Remember, keep your glass at least half full. There's free beer tomorrow, and we will catch you on down that extraterrestrial Tuscan highway. Have a good one. See you on the next episode of Beer, Blues, and BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
One episode down.
So I will tell you the other frustrating thing about having to do the practice on the hill in the morning is it was too early in the morning to actually play the songs. So nobody played their instruments except guess who? Percussion.
Percussionist.
And you played it on the side of the drum so that it was just click, 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 click. So we had to work all the time. But everybody else was just like, we don't have to play.
Yep. I mean, we didn't care. We played our instruments all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe I just remember that because I was a percussionist as well.
Yes. No. I mean, I think honestly, I mostly just resented how early it was in the morning because we also we couldn't do it at like 7. It had to be at like 6:45 or 6:30 because we couldn't disrupt people's like drive to work.
If it makes you feel better, Curtis, when I moved up here and joined the Century High School band, I'm like all of like a month in, and we did a parade down in San Antonio, Texas, and I went, but we had to show up early for marching band rehearsal, and I know you've seen the Century marching bands. You know, they used to do that crazy turn.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Nobody told me about the crazy turn because they had all
the waterfall.
Yeah, no, like they had all done it, you know, in the fall. Nobody told the new guy. So here we are, marching around. We get to the corner, and Mr. Fogger, the band director, blows the whistle to start the turn, and all of a sudden everybody turns around, and I'm like, oh crap, and I have to turn around, and then all of a sudden, like I think. At that configuration, we had the drums like behind us, and so then, you know, everybody's counting because it's a count thing. But again, nobody told me even what the count is. So all of a sudden, the person now that I'm following turns around, it's the bass drum, and he nearly takes me out because getting yelled at by people. I'm like, I don't know, I'm day one. Somebody tell the new guy. Yeah, I figured it out eventually, but it was like, what the hell? Yeah. Only been here a month.
Funky, like weird. It wasn't that same one, but he did like a weird turn when I was in high school in Williston. But we practiced it before every parade. Like even though we practiced it like all fall, if we did another parade, he was like, "We're going out and practicing it before we do the next parade." So, like, everybody knew.
Yeah, and like we would. In later years, they would talk about it all the time, like as you're getting ready. Like, so they would explain how it went. But again, they didn't think about the new guy.